The very first thing you're going to do after you flash the TIX6 is you're going to remove it from power, and then you're going to remove it from the computer via USB. Now you have, now you're going to want to rebuild this thing. And to do that, to start with that, you're going to go in the reverse direction as before. You're going to start with the boot switch. So go ahead and flip the boot switch to number 2 needs to go to down or towards the number 2. And number 3 needs to go in the opposite direction towards the on. And then you want to plug in the power. And then you want to be really careful when you're putting this thing together because you're going to notice that every little bit of it will fall apart on you, plastic-wise. When you plug in your power, if the device turns back on, do yourself a favor and go ahead and shut that thing off. Like mine had power left over in the battery. So when I plug the battery in, it shouldn't be an issue with the ones you're doing. But, oh, it might be. But
Mine cut off.
You're, okay.
Mine's cut off. So it's the one on the other side of the power?
Yep. It's the one, yep, the one on the other side of the power. And you just plug it in and click it. And hold. There it goes. So something to be noted when you're reassembling these is that you want to be careful with the battery wiring. You will, when you're reassembling this and you finally get it to settle down, it is very easy to clip the battery wires. The other thing to note is that this will come off and the back plate will come off. And this thing is set to only reassemble a certain way. This is the hardest part. So you want to make sure you line it up with the grooves in the plates when you're reassembling. And you want to make sure you're not clipping any cables, and it should all set together. After you get it all set together, go ahead and screw it back in. If you have less than 6 screws, make sure to always do a cross to screw in crosswise. If you notice the screws aren't going in when you try to screw them in, most likely your back plate, the bottom portion, this portion, is on the wrong way.
The condeco should face away from the antenna. That's kind of how you know.
And that's it. That's all the steps to reflashing. Now, ideally, after you reflash, you would go into the reformatting steps. So you would immediately plug this thing in to a computer and fire it up and try to connect to it. And if you missed up any steps, if there's a hardware failure, that's when you would recognize that, right? But that'll be for later.